So you've watched all the organizing videos and tried every home organization hack under the sun, and yet somehow your home is still a mess. What's up with that? What if I told you that a lot of the popular home organization tips and products that you see online are not only a big fat lie, but in some cases might even be holding you back from creating the clutter-free home of your dreams? Hi there, friend, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa, and this is A to Zen Life, where we talk about the A to Z of simplifying your way to a home and a life you love. And today I wanted to chat with you about something that's been weighing heavily on my mind recently, which is all of the myths and downright lies about home organization that I see brands and influencers pushing on social media that not only don't solve our clutter problems, but sometimes even end up making them worse. Especially on apps like TikTok and Instagram, it's easy to fall down an endless rabbit hole of trendy storage hacks and exciting refrigerator restocking videos that not only encourage overconsumption, but also give us unrealistic and sometimes even toxic expectations about home organization. So the reason that this has been on my mind is because we recently moved into a new home and I've been doing a lot of organizing and reorganizing myself lately. So as a decluttering expert and minimalist of 8 years, today I want to take you along with me as I debunk some of the biggest and most outrageous lies about home organization, starting with number 1 on this list, which is that home organization is the cure to all your clutter problems. Let me ask you, how many times have you heard that this insert whatever miracle product name here is the solution to all your problems? If I had a dime for every time I heard a brand or influencer make that claim, considering that the home organization industry is collectively worth over $12 billion and growing, I'd definitely be a billionaire by now. Whenever I see an influencer or brand promoting a cool new organizing hack or product, I always approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism. Organization is definitely important, but for most of us, it's more like the icing on the cake instead of the end-all be-all. And a much better place to start is A, getting rid of excess clutter instead of trying to organize it, and B, trying to figure out which habits or breakdowns in your system are the root cause of your clutter problems. Another big lie about home organization is that it needs to be done as fast as possible. Have you ever noticed how many brands and products are bending over backwards to promise you quick fixes and fast results? Like, how many of you watching this video are old enough to remember 8-minute abs? I remember when I was in college how I would go over to my best friend's house and lie down on the shag carpet floor of her living room to do 8-minute abs with her and her sister. And then I would leave and go to McDonald's and order 3 double cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, and a large chocolate milkshake and wonder why the heck I didn't have chiseled abs. Duh, you think? This is a case for the FBI. The idea of fast and easy results is intoxicating and downright addictive. And when we see titles like 34 quick fix products that'll make your home look way better, or learn how to organize paper clutter in just 5 minutes a day, over and over again, we get brainwashed into thinking that quick and easy is the way to go. But just like they say Rome wasn't built in a day, your clutter didn't just accumulate in 5 minutes. So why would we think that it would only take 5 minutes to get rid of it? And a lot of times we end up on this hamster wheel of instant gratification, buying the hottest new organizing products to try, only to end up disappointed when the thing that we bought with so much hope didn't deliver on its big promises to us yet again. Now, I'm not saying that going fast is all bad, because when it comes to decluttering and organizing your home, there's a time and a place for everything. And sometimes you want to sprint, and sometimes it's going to be a marathon. And it's up for you to figure out which is the correct speed for you at any given time. But I would caution you against making 670,000 miles per hour your default setting, because sometimes haste makes waste. Which actually brings us to the next lie on this list, which is the lie that it's so cheap, so why not buy it? A lot of home organization products and products in general get marketed as being a cheap and easy fix and encourage you to just give it a try because it's so cheap. It's totally worth it, right? What do you have to lose? But the problem with this mindset is that it often results in a lot of waste. And I'm not just talking about wasted money, because spending money on cheap products that are poor quality or don't work doesn't just waste your money, it also wastes your time and energy having to get rid of the stuff that was supposedly supposed to solve your problems and didn't. And then on top of that, having to deal with the guilt that you probably feel spending money yet again on something that didn't work and only ended up adding to the clutter problem in your home. Next up, we have the lie that home organization has to be aesthetic and pleasing to the eye. This is honestly probably one of my biggest pet peeves about home organization because they're honestly out here trying to brainwash us into believing that decanting your laundry detergent and color coding all of the food in your refrigerator into neat little plastic containers is normal. It's not. And sometimes home organization trends go so far over the top that they even become borderline dysfunctional. Like, have you seen the fridge-scaping trend that people have been sharing lately on social media? It's like landscaping, but for your fridge. Anyway, after this super impractical trend went viral, apparently it's actually started to seep into people's homes in real life, to the point where husbands were posting about it on Reddit to complain about how impractical, high maintenance, and frustrating it was for them to do something as simple as try to take food out of the refrigerator after their wife had finished fridge-scaping it. Remember, organization is supposed to make your life easier, not harder, and it doesn't matter how good the inside of your refrigerator looks if it doesn't function as a refrigerator should and is a PITA to use. Cleaning and organization videos might be good eye candy, but you know what's even better? Having a clean and tidy kitchen that's actually functional and works for you in real life. Next up, we have the idea that flat surfaces should be clear of visual clutter at all times. It's almost like visual clutter has become public enemy number one, especially in the minimalism community. However, there are times that it might make sense to leave something out on your kitchen counter, for example. Maybe it doesn't make sense for you to hide your bulky espresso machine every time you're done making coffee. And maybe you want your paper towels out in the open where you can easily access them. If there are certain things that you want to have out around your house, but you don't like the way that they look when they're just lying around, there are organization tricks that you can use for that, such as using small trays to kind of corral things on your kitchen countertops so that it's more visually appealing to your eyes. Or say creating a coffee station with a cute little bar cart or something where you can make and enjoy your morning coffee in the morning. That's a great way to keep things that you want to have out and accessible still looking tidy and organized. Organizing line number 6 is that there's always one right answer to any question that you might have about organizing. This is actually something that popped up for me recently after I shared a video about how I went about extreme cleaning, decluttering, and organizing for us to move into our new home, which was a huge thing. And in the video, which was over 60 minutes long, and I'll share up here for you and down in the description box below in case you're interested in checking it out, I was showing how and where I was putting things away in my kitchen, and there's a tall cabinet that I decided to use to store my white plates and bowls, basically the flatware that we eat off of. And not just one person, but multiple people actually commented asking me why I didn't choose a cabinet that was closer to the dishwasher so that when I was getting things out of the dishwasher that I could just put them right away in the cupboards. And one of the things that I've spoken before here on my channel is that minimalism is deeply personal to each of us. So it's up for each of us to decide what minimalism is going to look like and how much stuff we want to own. So for me, someone who hates hand washing dishes, I like to own 12 sets of flatware and silverware so that I can hand wash dishes as few times as possible and I can just throw them into the dishwasher. And the ones that I chose, while being high quality, are a little bit heavy, and I was afraid that our cabinets, which are a bit on the older side, might not hold up to the weight of those plates so well if I was to stack all 12 sets inside of them. And so because I have a large kitchen with more storage than I could ever fill up as a minimalist, I decided that I'd much rather carry them the extra few steps over to that cabinet where I could beautifully stack them with each category taking up a single shelf instead of trying to cram it all into one cabinet. So that was the solution that I came up with to fit our kitchen and our lifestyle and our particular needs, but I can totally understand if that's not the right choice for someone else. But what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to organizing, there's not really a one size fits all solution. Sometimes I joke that it's a little bit like a game of Tetris, where you're kind of trying to shift things around to see how they fit best. And finally, the last organizing lie on this list is that organization and minimalism are the exact same thing. This always drives me crazy when I see it in articles, because invariably when somebody is talking about Marie Kondo, they'll always talk about how she's a minimalist. And Marie Kondo has over and over again flat out said in interviews and even written entire blog posts about how she is not a minimalist. Minimalism and home organization are really two completely separate topics. Although there is some overlap between them, they are not the same thing. And of course, I'm probably more than a little bit biased in saying that minimalism is really helpful when you're trying to create a clutter-free and organized home. By all means, if you don't want to become a minimalist, but you still want that, go for it. However, I will also say that the thing about minimalism is that it's not black and white in and of itself either. There's all sorts of degrees of minimalism. You have people who are minimalish. You have people who are extreme or ultra minimalist. There's nomadic minimalists who want to travel the world with only one backpack. And you have cozy minimalists who want to create a calm and clutter-free home. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the past 8 years, is that minimalism is really a spectrum, and it's also a tool that we can use to improve our lives however we see fit. And if you want to hear more about that, make sure to go check out one of these videos that YouTube thinks that you'll like, or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye bye.